Hi guys, I'm Mark Harvey, creator of Mark Harvey Beauty, and you are so awesome for becoming a Face Beauty member. Today, we are going to take a look at just how simple it is to create that flawless celebrity glow by using some very simple airbrush techniques. So today, we're going to work on our gorgeous model, DeMonica. And as you can see, she is a beautiful woman of color. Like most women of color, she does have issues with hyperpigmentation. She has a cute little birthmark right here. Yeah. Okay. And she does have some discoloration, some darkness under her eyes. So that's really what we're going to focus on. It's all about creating the flawless canvas without it looking like makeup. So we're going to get started though first by using a traditional technique of applying concealer. When you are working with your airbrush, you don't want to airbrush under the eyes, okay? The airbrush formula is really not created for under the eye area. It's an oil-free formula. It does have humectants. My particular formula does, or Mark Harvey Beauty, does have natural ingredients and botanicals, but it's not really for that sensitive area under the eye. You do want to work with concealers that are going to be more emollient, that are going to have oils in them for that sensitive area, and sometimes dry area under the eye, okay? So let's get started. So first what we're going to do is use the Mark Harvey Beauty Transforming Fluid. If you've ever used this product, it is amazing. It's really great for when you are working with traditional makeups like concealers or even like dual wear or double wear powders, because what it does is it essentially transforms the look of, larger, more flat particles like what traditional makeup has into something that resembles an airbrush finish. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a little bit under her eyes. It has a really amazing moisture value to it. And as you can see, it has an amazing and creates an amazing highlight under the eye as well, prior to you going in with your concealer. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to use the Mark Harvey Beauty concealer palette. It's amazing because you have correctors and concealers in this palette. So we're going to correct under her eye first. And for those of you that don't know what a corrector is it basically cancels out whatever color, which normally under the eye is going to be bluish purplish, right? If we go back to color theory, we know that the opposite of that color is orange yellow, okay? So orange yellow to me makes peach. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our dark peach in this palette, in the Mark Harvey Beauty palette, to correct that first. Then we're going to use a highlighting concealer, okay? Because that really is what concealer does. Have you ever seen someone that has concealer on, but it looks gray or muddy? You can pretty much see through that highlighting concealer. Well, that's because they haven't canceled out that bluish, purplish undertone that their eye is exhibiting. Okay, so you want to cancel that out first before you put any type of highlighting concealer under there. Okay, so do we now understand the difference between corrector and concealer? We want to correct first and then conceal. And oh my God, also, if you ever have wondered, how do I get my concealer from creasing? Transforming fluid. This is literally one of the best products that I have been able to create for makeup artists and real women, because it really keeps that product in place. Really keeps it in place. It's amazing. Next, what we're going to do is use the highlighting concealer. So a highlighting concealer serves two purposes. For DeMonica, she had some darkness under her eye there, right, under her eyes. And then she also has a little bit of a little bag there. So what that highlighting concealer helps to do is just pull that bag out of there. That depth that she has there around the orbital bone, that's where we want to put the highlight, right? Because it's dark, it's receding the light. So we want to put a little highlighting concealer because a lighter color is going to do what? It's going to reflect the light, okay? And make it look like it's not, you know, like a trough area there, all right? Great. So let's use a little bit of a more lighter color in that area, just in that area, because as you can see, her darkness is gone. All right, so we literally are just going to put a little bit of that highlight right in that area. Okay, a little bit of that highlight color right in the area where we see the shadow. That's basically what we're doing, is we are giving the illusion that that shadow isn't there. Okay? We're giving the illusion that that shadow is gone. And even in this professional lighting, you can really see how it makes it disappear. Well, and you know, if you are working with professionals and you're working with newscasters or on a television set or movie set, you want to be able to do these little tricks and techniques because we've all seen the social media, look up the social media concealing that's going on, where you just slather a ton of makeup and then you just keep shearing it out, where you slather a ton of makeup under the eye and then that under eye looks really cakey. And so with this technique, less is more. So what we want to do next is lightly set the concealer. Look up. And a lot of my makeup artists and a lot of my clients really don't understand the purpose of a loose powder and how it should be used, okay? So I'm going to show you guys. This is the way a loose powder should be used. I'm barely putting any product on her face. Okay? So, I'm really showing you guys how, you know, this minimalistic technique is going to make your client or you look more flawless than you could have ever imagined. Okay? So, we literally are, you know, I'm using my little brush here and I'm kind of pinching it. Pinching. Okay, I'm pinching my brush. Okay, clearly you could use a smaller brush, but I like how a slightly larger brush gives you a more diffused powder application when you pinch it. Okay? So, any area that seems like it has, you know, more shadow to it, that's where we're putting the powder. We're not just, you know, sliding powder all over the face. Okay? And that's the way it should look. As you can see, We've concentrated here and here, here and here. Those are the two areas where that shadow goes inwards, okay? And we don't want that. We want it to look like it's nice and even under the eye area, okay? And that's it. That's the extent of powdering under the eye, okay? So all of you that are afraid that, oh my God, I'm gonna look older, or I'm gonna look more crepey, well, it is possible if you're using the wrong application or if you're using the wrong powder. So if you're using a foundation that is in a pressed form, then yes, it will look cakey. But we're not doing that. We're using a loose powder. And as you can see, we're putting it wherever I see a shadow. Wherever you see a shadow, that's where you put the pressed powder. And you will find by using this type of application, you're not going to get a cakey, crepey finish, no matter what your age is, okay? So we're just going to kind of let some of that, you can still see a little bit of it around the eye area, right at the orbital bone. We're actually going to just let that cook, okay? Just going to let that cook, let that marinate, okay? And then we're going to move on to her airbrushing.